What is Papa Loppin' Financial Freedom Fast fam? It is Friday. That means I'm doing another solo ripper where I give you some actionable steps, knowledge, and content that you can use in your everyday life to accelerate your financial future and reach financial freedom fast, which is what this podcast is all about, baby. We want to reach financial freedom fast. That's what we talk about on the Financial Freedom Fast podcast. So, for today's episode, we are going to dig in a little bit on why you should not buy your own house, aka, you should not buy your first personal residence if that is all you are going to use it for. And now that's at first. You should not buy this as your first purchase. And now let's go into that. So, why? The first real estate purchase is a huge one, and it will create for your financial future and alter your financial future immediately, and arguably will be the most important financial decision of your life, and one of the biggest. You may feel right now that it's one of your biggest, but once you buy one and then you buy another, houses can just seem like, we can buy these things. And as long as they're assets, they're not as intimidating as buying the first one. So it's almost like a red pill, blue pill, what we're going to talk about today. Take one pill and your life is going to end up this way, or it will be harder to get back to the blue pill side. And then take the blue pill and your life will go a different way. So let's get into this. First, we have to really know what an asset is, right? Many people think that when they're buying their first property, that no matter what kind of property they're buying an asset. That is wrong. That's the wrong way to look at this. I'm not the first to say it. I won't be the last. So why is that? Most of the time they're confused that they're buying an asset because they don't know the difference between an asset and a liability. The most simple definition of an asset and a liability is that an asset puts money in your pocket every single month, and a liability takes money out of your pocket every single month. Now, this definition comes from Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, one of the most influential books, financial books of all time. And that book changed my financial future forever. It got me involved in real estate, all that good stuff. But the simple definition: an asset puts money in your pocket, a liability takes money out. So now, using that definition, let's relate it back to that first scenario we were talking about buying your own house. Let's say you're 25 years old and you have a girlfriend or a boyfriend and maybe a husband or wife, and you guys are going to buy your first property. So you have this place that you're going to go live in, and you're going to stay in that property, and you are going to be paying all of the expenses. You might think it's an asset, and a lot of people think it's an asset because real estate can go up in value over time. Keyword can. Most likely over 30 years, your property is going to raise in value. You're right. But it is still taking money. Now, that's like betting on a stock, right? Or betting on a football game, but it is a pretty solid asset and a pretty solid assumption that the value of your property, if you buy it at the current market value, the market value of your property will increase over 10, 20, 30 years, but it's still taking money out of your pocket. When we go back to that initial definition of asset versus liability: asset, money in pocket; liability, money out of pocket, right? So this property that you buy, if you're buying it, you're the boyfriend, girlfriend, 25 years old, you buy the house, you're the husband, wife, you buy the house, you're going there, you're going to live there with your family that you're going to build, right? This property might go up in value, but you really can't make you really can't touch the value that easily. If so, your property might go up in value, but you really can't touch that money, the equity that is created in that property very easily unless you do something called a refinance. So, what happens every single month is really what matters. When you buy that house and you go live in it, and it's only you living in it, you have to pay the mortgage, you have to pay the taxes, you have to pay the insurance, you have to pay the maintenance, you have to pay the lawn care, you have to pay for the HOA fees, whatever else you run into. The toilet breaks, you got to fix it. You have to pay for all that. So, it takes money out of your pocket every single month, which from our definition earlier makes this place that you're living in a liability. We don't want to buy liabilities. We build wealth, we get rich, we build cash flow by buying assets, not by buying liabilities. Now, how can you make your first property an asset and not a liability? You need to buy something, as per the definition, that puts money in your pocket. Now, how can you buy a property that you still live in that puts money in your pocket? A good way to do this that you can utilize is a good way to do this is to buy a property that you can utilize and live in while you can still rent other parts of the property out and make an income off of that, commonly known as house hacking. Now, there's multiple ways to do this. You could buy a multifamily property. So that's like a 4 unit, 3 unit, or a 2 unit. I would recommend for your first property a 3 or 4 unit. That's like the place that I am doing this video from right now. I live in a 4 unit that I bought myself. I rent out everything else. And this property makes me a good amount of money while allowing me to live for free. Another way to do it, if you don't want to buy a multifamily apartment style, you could buy a single family house and you could rent out the other rooms in that property and make a good amount there. But the trade off is you're going to be sharing your home, your living space with someone else. So that's a tough one. Another more unique one is to do the Airbnb style. These properties might cost a little bit more, right? But you could buy, let's say you buy a single family and it's in an area where you can actually add an ADU, a dwelling unit, another property or another like little mini shed that has heat and water and electric and it's legal for someone to stay there, or you have what's called an in-law suite and you can do an Airbnb out of there. That might just be enough to cover your mortgage, taxes, insurance, and all those other fees that come. Now, this strategy of having someone else pay for your mortgage allows you to not have your mortgage, aka the money that you would be paying for rent and or the mortgage that you would pay if you were the only one living there is now being paid by someone else, and you could possibly get extra money in your pocket. So let's say that your mortgage, taxes, insurance, lawn care, maintenance, HOA, all that stuff would come out to $2,500 per month. If you can find a property, which you can, if you can find a property that pays for itself, so the mortgage, taxes, and insurance are paid for, allows you to live there for free, and makes you an extra $500 per month, that eliminates the red pill scenario of paying $2,500 per month, aka a liability, 2,500 out of your pocket, and it moves us to the blue pill where now we're not paying that $2,500 per month. It's being paid by someone else and it's making us an extra $500 per month. That's a $3,000 a month swing. That's $36,000 a year. $36,000 a year can buy you a complete new property. So by buying one property, it allows you to much quicker and easily buy another property off of that. So it's crazy what one financial decision can do for your financial future. You buy your first property and you make it an asset instead of a liability. You are going to alter your financial future incredibly. And this is going to enable you to reach financial freedom fast because that is what we are all about on the Financial Freedom Fast podcast. If you guys didn't know about this, you didn't know about the strategy, you want to know more about the house hacking strategy, how this place has worked out for me, reach out to me. Reach out on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, whatever it is, at Matt Amabile. That's Mattamabile. Hope you guys got some good info from this podcast today. And yeah, what pill are you going to take? Got questions about it? Reach out to me. For now, let's pop over to the outro, baby. Have a good one. Peace.